I love the material of this linen shirt. I've had it for a while, but I don't wear it often. It feels great on me, but something is just off, especially after I gained some weight. I'm going to show you the techniques and ways I've redesigned this top into a flattering cropped jacket that can be worn with almost anything in your closet. Worn alone as a top will make your legs super long. As you can see, the sleeves are super long, which can be solved easily by just rolling them up. I actually like this relaxed style. If you prefer, you can definitely crop them, but I'm not going to deal with that in this video. Since this shirt is a little bit tight and it is bunching up, the waist is not exactly where it's supposed to be, like right there. This part feels more like the bottom of the jacket. Examining the shirt, I think these seams can be undone to give me more room. As for this odd shape, I'm going to remove it first and decide later what to do with it. My approach is to find the easiest way to make this shirt wider, and the quickest way is to remove all 4 seams in the front and in the back. However, the 2 front seams in the front have a pocket in the middle, so I'm going to skip that for now. I'm going to go ahead and detach the bottom and the top part of the shirt from the back so I can start working on removing the seams in the back. With seam ripping, you can easily cut a hole through your garment by accident, and that's the last thing you want to do. Make sure you use that rounded dot at the bottom so it will not poke through your garment while you're seam ripping, and this will likely prevent less mishaps. And if you do make a mistake, it's fine. It's not going to be at the end of the world as long as you're careful. These little tiny flaws can be fixed. You just have to work around it a bit. Like here, I'll just fold it back and then it won't be that noticeable. As I seam rip, I like to remove all the broken pieces of thread so I can keep my environment tidy and stress-free. Seam ripping a shirt that has not been cut apart is the easiest way to add width to your shirt. Here I've added 1.5 inch here, 1.5 inch here, totaling 3 inches to the shirt. Next up, I'll be removing this bottom portion. When seam ripping, you don't need to cut every stitch. Just cut every few stitches apart, and then when you have enough stitches cut, you can turn over the other side, lift the thread, and you'll be able to slightly tug on it and pull the rest of the stitches off. For the serge seams, I like to seam rip like this so it gets through all the threads, making it easier to pull the broken threads away. When you reach the 2 corners in the front of the shirt at the bottom, you'll need to flip both corners over so you can continue to seam rip all the way to the end. This way, you are able to fully detach the bottom piece of fabric from the shirt. When you have loose threads like this, it's tempting to cut it to the edge. Please don't do that. I've linked a video for you so you can deal with them and you won't have any fraying edges. 3-inch addition was enough for me, so I'm going to move to the next step. Let's find the center of the fabric, and then let's find the center of the shirt. Once we find the center of the shirt, we're going to match it back together and pin it all down. Since we have 1.5-inch addition to both sides, we're going to have to undo the edges for this piece of fabric. Trim off any odd shapes to straighten the edge. Now we'll realign both edges and pin it down. For the option 1 of our reconstruction, we'll sew the edges back and reserge the seams. Then you'll re-sew the bottom front 2 edges right here. This option is perfect for those of you who want to just widen your shirt but change nothing stylistically about the shirt. Iron and you're ready to go. Another option is to completely change the style of the shirt. Mark 1.5 inches from the bottom of the shirt and trim off the excess. When you reach both of the corners of the shirt, you'll want to trim off the excess. We'll fold it over and give it a press. Then mark a 1/4 inch, fold and press. Make sure the flap folds flat. Trim off any excess. To resew the corners, we'll need to reverse this and fold it like this and match the crease and sew right here. But before we do that, we have to fix the corner right here. Initially, we had to seam rip this area to remove the piece of fabric at the bottom. When we get to the corner, that is when we reach the bottom of the hem. Now you can flip it over and re-sew the corner. Since we're starting out with a garment that's on the shorter side, we don't want to make it shorter. By adding this thick seam, it helps sturdy the bottom edge without losing any length. With clothings made of linen or cotton, after washing it through the washing machine, your edges might wrinkle and bunch up, but with a thicker seam, it helps to prevent that wrinkling effect. I'm going to put the extra mile in here to do an invisible hem. This is what you would do for your nice pants if you're adjusting the length, or your nice suits. In this case, I like this garment a lot. I've took a lot of effort to it, so I'm going to put an extra step instead of just serging it. It will make my wearing experience a lot better. Every time I pick up the shirt, I will see how nicely and neatly it's done, and it will make my wearing experience a lot more enjoyable. What I'm doing is just picking one piece of thread from the bottom and then one piece of thread from the hem. Only tug lightly so you won't have any pulling on the other side of your garment, making it invisible and neat. This shirt is a great example of sewing in its finest. I will be able to wear this as a crop shirt as well as a jacket. So to take it to the next level, in the next video, I'll show you how to solve one of the most common problems in jackets and shirts. I'm sure you've come across shirts like this with a flap. We'll tackle that in the next video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss it.